Welcome back to another episode of Durarara. So in the previous episode we saw it was a pretty messed up episode because we saw the backstory of Anri, and she was basically being abused by her dad. Both her and the mom were being abused by the dad, and then the mom ended up being possessed by Saika, ended up offing the dad and offing herself as well, and sparing obviously Anri her life. And yeah, I mean, obviously very tragic backstory, but that's when also Anri got Saika within her, got possessed by Saika, but was able to keep her at bay, basically, right? She basically is enduring all of the calls of Saika within her. It was a really cool episode when it comes to the entire narrative side of things, because we found out that Sonohara ended up getting the responsibility of now controlling, or basically having the consciousness of 100 people on her, well, consciousness, right? Feeling the responsibility of 100 people's lives within her, which kind of grounded her and made her a bit more human, or made her feel a bit more human, definitely, right? And we saw that in the conversation that she had with Mikado, because she felt very alive. She felt the most expressive that I ever heard Sonohara up until this point. So it feels like she definitely is, I don't want to say like becoming more normal, because that feels like a insult, you know, but she's definitely getting progressively more integrated into a society as a as a actual normal person, I guess. But yeah, it was a really cool episode. Haruna is now also got obviously absolutely humiliated by Sonohara. Takashi ended up getting away. I don't know what's gonna happen with him. Like, I feel like he's just getting off so easily with everything. Like, he got punched by Shizuo, but like every single person up until this point that got punched by Shizuo ended up being okay. They just landed somewhere and they went off with their day. So I don't know what happened with Takashi. I guess we'll see. Hopefully, maybe we're never gonna see him again. I'm fine with that, you know. As much as I would prefer him to just rot in like a jail cell or something, I'm fine with not seeing him ever again. I just want some sliver of justice for Haruna and Sonohara. Speaking of Haruna, I do want to know more about the entire backstory of her, because she kept saying of how much she loves Takashi and stuff like that, and how she always loved Takashi, but I can't fully tell from the way that she was talking about it and acting of purely how much is it just Saika and how much of it is actually Haruna. I'm gonna guess that Haruna never ever felt any kind of feelings towards Takashi, and it's just Saika saying, "Oh, I love you, I've always loved you," and stuff like that. That's just all Saika. That's my guess. And that Haruna was basically the same as Sonohara when it comes to her feelings towards Takashi. It's just hatred, right? And it's Saika who loves Takashi, but I'm not sure, because Sonohara did say, like, as opposed to Saika or whatever, I love you. Well, I guess she did say she was talking about Saika and not about Haruna. I don't know. I just kind of want more confirmation on Haruna. And I'm guessing we will see her again, because we'll also be seeing Shuji again and stuff. So, and I want to see Shuji just, you know, talk to Haruna and see that relationship getting mended as well. I feel like that would be cool to see. But yeah, as I said, now Sonohara has basically an army of 100 people, or over 100 people, who I'm pretty sure she shouldn't be utilizing, because it's, as I said in the previous episode, it feels immoral to basically force and brainwash 100 people to fight for you. But we'll see how that's gonna come into play. Mikado obviously being the leader of the dollars, which seems like kind of like the most prominent group out of all of them when it comes to like basically the names and the brand value of the group in the city. And then there's Kida being the leader of the Yellow Scarves, which is also really insane, and none of them know about it, which makes sense. Like, I saw people talking about how, I mean, this could have been like how like avoided if they just talked about it, but to be fair, it makes sense for the kinds of people that they are. Mikado wouldn't want to talk about it because he enjoys the image of being the one in the shadows, you know. He enjoys the actual cartoonish image of like the person who has a secret that he's like the ringleader, and that makes sense for his character. Sonohara is just very closed in when it comes to sharing information and stuff, so it makes sense that she wouldn't talk about it. And Kida also feels like, I feel like he feels like he can protect his friends without them actually knowing that it's him. As much as he is like a really outspoken guy, he seems like the type of guy who really takes his friends seriously and wants to protect them without showing off, right? With being kind of like not humble, but just not wanting to show off to them. So it makes sense that they wouldn't talk about it to one another, right? I don't think that's like poorly written or anything like that. I think it's perfectly reasonable that they don't talk to each other about the gangs that they're running. And then obviously at the top we have Izaya, who's just puppeteering everyone. And to be fair, Sonohara knows about this because she has the memories of Haruna and all of the other offsprings. So she knows that Izaya is puppeteering the entire thing, but what can she do about it? We'll see. Anyways. Whew, okay, that's all. That was a bit of a long intro. So anyways, let's see where this episode's gonna end up going. I'm guessing we're gonna be seeing more of Yellow Scarves in this one. This is gonna be more centered around that, I'm guessing. So let's see. If you wanna watch this, Uncut and Unblurred, it's gonna be on my Patreon, which is down in the description. And let's go into Durarara, episode 18. Here we go. That is Mikajima Saki then. Okay, from the opening. She has lighter hair in the opening. Let me write down the name. Mikajima Saki, yeah. In the actual opening, because we see her, right? I wasn't sure whether it was her because she has a way more like orange hair in the opening, like yellow orange hair in the opening, but here she has like brown hair. That's interesting. Love square. So an ex-girlfriend, okay. That feels toxic. It could also just be delusional. Whoa! You see, the interesting thing here, I don't know how much I should be looking into the symbolism of this, but he was showing... Wait, I'm thinking, guys. Wait, let me go back. So, he's showing all three leaders as the shogi pieces. So, he's showing all three sides here. The slashers, or the ethereal swords, or whatever he calls them, the yellow scarves, and the dollars. He's showing them as the shogi pieces. And then they are all centering, or they're all cornering a chess piece. Now, who would be the chess piece then? Who are they all focused on? I always thought that they were kind of like focused on themselves or one another. Especially the yellow scarf seems to be on a bit of an offensive against both the dollars and the slashers. But I'm trying to think, but I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to symbolize. I guess we'll see as we watch it. Yeah, we'll see as we watch it, right? The interesting thing is, I want to know, like, Izaya seems like he's manipulating Saki, right? I wonder why exactly. I wonder how important Saki is. I'm guessing it's something to do with him manipulating Saki so that he can somehow get something out of Kida, but I wonder what exactly it is. We'll see. God attack. Life and death are in the hands of fate. 1 year ago. Okay, thank you. Saki. Okay, you see the hair here? It's a lot lighter.
死ななかったんだって。良好じゃないか。生きてさえいれば何とでもなる。イザヤさん、君は頭がいいね。彼女があんな状態になった原因が自分にあると
I
分かって
see.
る。
Makes sense. Gang violence.
感情に飲まれて俺に殴りかかってこなかったことは称賛に値する。正解。今のは俺に怒りを向けて当然だ。明らかに悪意を持って君をからかったわけだから。意識不明か？目を覚ますといいね。それとも君にとっては永遠に目を覚ましてくれない方がいいのかな。どういう意味っすか？分かってるくせに。君は怖いんだろ？彼女が目を覚ましたら永遠に責められ続けるんじゃないかって。だけど仮にこのまま死んだとしたらどうだろう。それこそ一生償えない罪悪感にまみれて生きることになる。つまり彼女が生きようが死のうが君の罪悪感には何の意味もないよね。逃げられないって。過去ってやつはお構いなしに君のことを追い回す。ひたすらひたすらひたすらひたすら。なんでだかわかるかい？寂しいからさ。過去や思い出って
I see.
とても寂しがり屋でね。それはね、神様って信じて
Of course you don't.
存在が確定してないからね。
Unless you're God.
確定してない世の中で過去は確かに存在している。たとえそれが誤解や妄想に彩られたことだとしても、本人がそれを信じるなら過去は確かに真実に他ならない。それに基づいて行動を、あるいは生き様を決めるというのなら、それは確かに神の一種なんじゃないのかな。何が言いたいのかさっぱりわかりません。わかってるくせに、君はもう彼女
Wait,
から逃げられない
I'm
よ。
gonna...
未来でさえ確定して
The past certainly does exist, even in a world where the future doesn't have a fixed form. So the past exists even though the future doesn't have a form.
いる世の
Yes.
中で過去は確かに存在している。
I wanna fully see what he's
たとえ
saying
それ
there.
が
Even if it's being colored by misunderstandings and
誤
delusions,
解や妄想に彩られたことだとしても、本人が
a person's past can't be anything but the truth as long as he believes in it. I don't know. I don't I don't know if I agree with that statement, but I get where he's coming from, kind of, because it's supposed to be your subjective experience, right? So if you believe in it, I guess, sure.
信じるなら
I think, I
過
don't
去
know.
は確かに真
You
実
can
に
misremember
他
stuff
ならない。
though.
それに基づいて行動を、
If that's what you
ある
base
い
your
は生き
actions
様
or
を
your
決める
way
と
of
いうのな
life
ら、
on,
それは確かに神の一種なんじゃな
isn't
いの
that
か
like
な。
being a
何
deity?
が言いたいのかさっぱりわかりません。
So you can change your
わ
own
かっ
past
てる
based
く
on
せ
your
に、
beliefs
君
and
は
be a
もう彼
deity
女か
because
ら
of
逃げ
that.
られないよ。彼女への罪悪感は過去となり、彼女は君にとっての神になる。
Oh, because she controls his past?
彼女の
Okay.
こと好きなんだからさ。
Oh, so that's what he means when he said that he's gonna be coming back to see her. It's
アン
because
リ
of the
も過去
guilt.
に復活だな。よかったよ。アンリもアンリのエロも無事で。エロは余計だよ、マサオミ。でも本当によかった。本当にね。ありがとう、二人とも。お礼なんてやめてくれよ。俺はアンリとアンリのエロが無事ならそれで満足なんだからさ。僕もエロ以外は同じだよ。もしもし。あ、そう。わかった。じゃあすぐ行くわ。悪い、友達がなんか急用あるっつうからさ。あ、そうなの？恨むなら俺の友達を好きなだけ恨んでくれ。恨むならただだし、俺には被害がない。まさに一石二鳥、一夫多妻だからな。一夫多妻？じゃあまた明日な。
I'm just thinking of Isaiah when he said he's God.
キダ君、最近ちょっと様子がおかしいと思いませんか？そうかな。気のせいじゃない？黄金族の話を味方にしたことはなかった。あいつのいる場所とこことどちらの現実も俺にとっては現実なのに、そこにはひどく距離があるような気がして。
I'm coming up with theories.
毎日だ。
I'm gonna say another theory. I know I'm pausing a lot, but I have so many things to say because I'm just coming up with theories. Neurons are lighting up in my head right now. So I do wonder, in the beginning I said that it makes sense why Kida doesn't want to tell the others about his involvement with the Yellow Scarves, is because he kind of wants to protect them without actually them knowing of his involvement. I feel like it's also partially the guilt that he feels towards Saki. Now, I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm guessing that she somehow got involved in the entire gang activity and because of that got hurt. And maybe he just wants to prevent that from the other two, and that's why he doesn't want to tell them about his involvement with the Yellow Gang, is because he doesn't want them to get involved in it. So it makes sense. If that's the case, that would make doubly even more sense about why he doesn't want the other two to know about this involvement. Especially for like, what, 16-year-old kids, it will make a lot of sense.
それを続けることでしかつながっていない仲間たちだった。自分を肯定してくれる誰かが欲しかった。その頃だ。先に初めて出会ったのは。その黄色い布、素敵だね。噂に聞いてたよりずっとかっこいいね。木田正臣くん。何？なんで俺の名前知ってんの？エスパー？むしろエスパー。そんな人の心読むような真似してっと、バッグに詰めてお持ち帰りしちゃうよ。はい。
He was always like this?
でもね、私じゃないよ。エスパーさんはちゃんと他にいるの。誰よ？誰か霊感少女がここにいるの？っていうか、すごい人なんだよ。何でも知ってるんだから。
イザヤ？
会いたくないやつに初めて会ったの。
Here he is.
いやあ、はじめまして。木田正臣くんだよね。どちらさんすか？俺は折原伊佐や情報屋ってやつさ。まあこの子の後見人みたいなもんだよ。彼氏とかそういうんじゃないから安心していいよ。よろしく。
I want to know more about. Well, actually, no. I was gonna say I want to know more about Isa, but I feel like we know enough.
将軍じゃなくて木田正臣でいいってよ。でも木田さんってのもなんか。ダラーズのことはどうしてもわかりません。うちの内部にもメンバーだったやつがいますが、トップのやつはわからないそうです。半年前の初集会でも特定できなかったとか。なんか動きはねえのか？リーダーから切り裂き魔についての情報を求めるって指令が出たそうです。切り裂き魔がダラーズだってのはガセなんですかね？そうだとしても臭いのは間違いねえだろう。他には？ホラダさんが黒バイクのやつにやられたって話がありますが。ホラダさん？ちょっと前ですけど、白いガスマスクの変な野郎がいたんでからかってたら黒バイクにやられました。
Yeah, I remember that.
なんか黒い油みたいなもんにまとわりつかれたっつうか、なんつうか。黒バイクって本当は何者なんだろうな。ダラーズの一員だって噂ですが。まあいいや。ところであんたら、俺らより年上だよな。まあ。それ以上年上の連中を引きずり込まないでくれよ。なんとか組のなんとかさんなんて人たちの名前が出てくるようになったら、その時は終わりだからな。俺たちはガキだ。いくら人数がいようが、大人の力には勝てないし、利用されるだけされて終わりだ。俺が折原伊佐也にそうされたみたいにな。さっき、俺が少しでも迷うことがあれば、伊佐也さんに聞けば大丈夫だよと言った。何かにつけて、彼の意見を持ち出した。お互い利益にみんな最初は鬱陶しく思っていたけれど、実際その通りにすれば、いろいろなことがうまくいった。俺は奴を信じなかった。必要以上に近づこうとは思わなかった。
He's just an incredible manipulator.
何でも分かってるし、絶対に間違いないの。じゃあ、奴が死ねっつったら死ぬの？多分ね。かわいそうな子なんだなと思った。彼女をイザヤという男の呪縛から解放してあげたいと思った。俺たちってさ、付き合ってるって言えんのかな？どうだろうね。お前はさ、なんで俺なんかと一緒にいんのよ。好きだからだよ。あのイザヤってやつが俺を好きになれたでも言ったのかよ。最初だけね。
So that's how she approached them.
イザヤさんは人の恋愛には口出さないもん。なんで今でも俺のこと好きなんだよ。かっこいいから。かわいいからかな。マサオミは私のこと好き？やつへの狂信的な態度をやめたら好きになってもいいかな。しょうがないよ。欠点の一つぐらい目をつぶってくれると嬉しいな。自分で欠点で分 なら直せよ。俺も手伝ってやるからさ。
Oh,
そうして、俺たち
I don't like that. If you have a flaw, you should fix it.
俺がサキと付き合うことを咎める人間はいなかった。俺は本気だったし、コーキンズはブルースケアトの殺されて、それどころではなかった。奴らの喧嘩の仕方は汚かった。少人数を大人数で抑えてくる勝てる喧嘩しか仕掛けてこない。100人以上の仲間たちがやられた。みんな怖がっていた。俺もだ。コーキン族を解散し、居場所がなくなってしまうことが怖かった。だからイザヤさんに相談するといいよ。俺は頼ってしまったのだ。恐ろしさのあまり、あの男。
Is that the first time we saw his room?
仲間のためだと自分を
If that even is his room.
まあゆっくり話そうじゃないか。奴の情報はコーキン族を劇的に変えた。ブルースケアの情報だけじゃなく、具体的な戦い方まで提示してくれた。劣勢だった俺たちの立場は簡単に逆転した。俺はいつの間にかこの男に対する危機感を失っていた。それどころか勝てる。俺は勝利を楽しんでいた。
Wrapped around his finger.
キダマサオミくん。誰だ。はじめまして。ブルースクエアのトップのイズミくんです。今日はクイズ大会です。第1問。こちらに特別ゲストを呼んでます。それは誰でしょうか。
サキ。
君のとっても大事な人です。おい、時間切れと言いたいとこだけど、あんた今心の中で一人思い浮かべちゃったりした。じゃあピンポンピンポンピンポンですよ。さきをどうした。では第2問です。君の大事な彼女は今どんな格好になっているでしょうか。第3問。今のはどこの骨が折れた音でしょう。ヒント、彼女はしばらく歩けないと思います。最終問題です。てめえがあと20分以内にこの間俺らをはめた立体駐車場まで来なければ、この女の子は一体どうなってしまうんでしょうか。後悔していた。甘えていたんだ。なんだかんだ言っても自分たちは中学生だと、子供の喧嘩の延長だと。そうじゃなかった。
Oh, the picture.
しかもそれを起こしたのは自分なんだ。
The picture at the back of them.
なんでチキさん。
Maybe he just has a god complex, Isaiah. Maybe he genuinely just wants to feel like a god. Oh my god.
俺は走った。行くしかない。行って先にあんな悲鳴を上げさせた奴らを全員殺してやる。だからコーキン族、あれのリーダーをぶっちめようって話なんですよ。俺は気乗りしねえっつってんだろ。いや、あいつの彼女をさらったらしいんですわ。ガキだけど結構いい女ですよ。それだけで十分楽しめるっしょ。さらった。そうか。なら今すぐ行くわ。でしょ。やっぱここは来とかね。目覚めたら泉のやつに言っとけ。あばよくせろってな。
God, I love this guy. What a Chad.
動けなくなった。さっきまでの気持ちなんて消えてしまって。なんでさっきがやばいってのに俺は足がすくんでるんだよ。なんでこんなに怖いんだよ。さっきのためなら何でもしてやろうと思ってたのに。俺は非力なただの中学生だった。つうかこのままだと死ぬんじゃないですか。別にいいっすけど。血は出てねえから大丈夫なんじゃね。どうもー。
My boy.
いや、うわマジでさらってきちゃってるんすね。なんだユマサキかよ。カドタはどうした。こうして現実では映画や漫画のように助けが来ることなく女の子をめちゃくちゃにされちゃうんでした。だから俺は思うんすよ。あ？ここで彼女を助けるヒーローが現れたら、もしかしたらこの世界は二次元になって、俺ってば超能力とか使える異世界の救世主になって、女の子たちとキャッキャイヒヒでムニムニウフフなことになると信じて、夢に向かって Here we go! 相変わらず決めや。
He is weird, but He's a good guy. A Molotov? A full-on Molotov? Nice. Good job. Yumasaki, the goat, man. Or Yumisaki or whatever. So they used to be in the blue squares, all of them. Interesting. What a Chad! Jesus Christ. Oh. Okay, I was like, who was that in the window? Hmm. 'The guilt. It's the guilt. Oh, Miyano Mamoru. 'That's Anri. She saw him! She saw him, so now she knows about Kida, she knows about Izaya. She doesn't know about Mikado, though. Oh, she is... She has so much information now. She knows a lot of the pieces. I was gonna say all of the pieces, not all of them. She knows a lot of the pieces of the puzzle. That's it, right? Yeah. Okay. That's wild. Okay, yeah, this is the episode that got me the most emotional so far. The previous episode had an emotional moment with Anri being just passionate about something, and passionately and very emotionally talking about something. That got me emotional because that was the first time that we saw her being a bit more human, like expressing actual emotion. But this episode, something about Kida's backstory felt so... It just felt so sad and so real, you know? His guilt of involving someone who he never wanted to involve, and Kadota just giving him the truth bomb. But still, I mean, he knows. Kida knows, right? Like all the things that Kadota said to him, he knows it. But it's easy to know like what you need to do, and it's hard to actually do it, you know? It's hard to actually come face to face with a guilt like this, right? About a guilt of potentially not just hurting someone, but potentially getting someone's life almost completely ruined, right? Because of your involvement in something. So I feel you, Kida. I feel you. Oh man, I feel so bad for him. The interesting thing is now Sonohara knows about so many things, right? She holds the pieces, or she holds the information to basically everything. I feel like the only person who knows more than her is probably Izaya, but even then, Izaya doesn't seem to know the fact that Sonohara knows, right? He doesn't know that she can share she can read the memories from the other slashers. So I think there are some interesting dynamics happening with the information there. The interesting thing about this episode was as well, that entire sequence that I talked about earlier, that entire shot with the shogi match. So maybe I'm reading too much into it, right? But we saw 3 games on the actual board, right? The game board. You guys, like, I saw multiple different answers to what the one with the black and white pieces is. I don't know. I've never played it. I've seen it before. I've never played it. But that's that game. And then there's chess and there is shogi. So there's 3 games. And my assumption was, oh, the black and white is, let's say, the dollars. The shogi is the yellow scarves. That's completely arbitrarily assigning one of them to the other one. And then chess would be, let's say, the slasher, right? But here, all 3 leaders of all 3 gangs were depicted by the shogi piece. So as if Izaya is saying that all of the 3 gangs that were being shown here are the shogi pieces. And that means that there will be 2 completely other sides, completely removed from the 3 gangs here, right? One of them being the chess piece, which got surrounded by the 3 leaders. I wonder if that is him foreshadowing something, because right now we're not seeing we don't really see a common goal of the 3 gangs, right? There's not really one big common goal that they're all chasing. Mikado feels like his goal right now is he's just enjoying the fact that his life is like really interesting and that he's this kind of like cartoonish underground mastermind that nobody knows about, right? So I think he's just reveling in that. He doesn't have a huge goal or he's not chasing anything apart from the one thing that he is trying to figure out is in the previous episode he sent a message being like, find me information on the slasher, but that's not like one big goal. Yellow Scarves seem to be they want to actually find the slasher and get revenge on Anri, or for Anri, I should say, which is kind of ironic, yeah. And then the slasher, she's just vibing, right? So I don't know what the chess piece would be in that board, you know, that we saw earlier. And then Izaya is playing God. Now, as I said, I wonder if he genuinely has a God complex, and that's it. He just wants to see how much he can play God, right? I also really find interesting the thing that he was talking about, right? Basically the thing that presides over your past would be a deity, could be perceived as a deity, right? Because that's what shapes you. And a deity would be what shapes you. So the thing that kind of like changes your past, or is kind of has the thing that has, I guess, that commands your past, I guess, would be a deity to you. So that's him kind of like saying that Saki is kind of like a deity or a god to Kida. That's interesting. But then Kadota did say, you can run from your past, but don't run from your present and future. That's such a cool line. That's so cool, but I feel like that's kind of goes to kind of opposes Isaya's perspective as well. But that's so cool. Anyways, I don't know. I have no idea where this is gonna go. I don't know if Anri is gonna end up getting caught or what's gonna happen from here, but it's just so interesting. So I'm excited to find out. Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Peace.